Welcome, 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 welcome. It's good to see you this evening. Glad you're here with me this evening to be hanging out. It's wonderful. Beautiful souls recognize beautiful souls, you know. It's an honor, as always, and a privilege to be able to do this one more again, once more again, one more time, to be able to just share with you, you know, my thoughts and the things that I'm learning, because I'm constantly learning, constantly gaining information, constantly trying to find a way to bring the best version of myself to you each and every week we go live. And so, you know, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody that we are here. My girl Stephanie Beard won't be with us tonight, and we do miss what she does bring to the table. But that's okay. She, the internet. Sometimes the internet, has problems. With the wind. We had problems with the internet not too long ago, a couple of days ago. It was a heavy winds here in San Diego, and the internet was, bugging out. So those things happen. And so since they happen, we have to work around it and do the best we can to, you know, move on to the next thing. What other way can we, another way that we can, make this thing happen? You know, life is for the living, man. Uh, as I always say, stay in a constant state of gratitude. What are you thankful for today at this moment? There's a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot to be grateful for. And don't allow someone else to steal your joy. And how they steal your joy is to take you out of a state or a vibrational state of happiness, you know? And you know, that's you know, be receptive of the right things. There are things that you can be receptive of that will allow you to become more expansive. You know, I want to share with you a little something because, as I said, be receptive. The universal mind is ready to respond to anyone who recognizes their true relationship to it. It will reproduce whatever conception of itself you impress upon it. In other words, it's receptive to all who remain in harmony with it and stay in a relationship of reverence for it. The issue becomes a question of your receptivity to the power of intention. Stay connected and know you'll receive all that this power is capable of offering. Take it on by yourself as separate from the universal mind, which is an impossibility, but nevertheless, a strong belief of the ego, and you remain eternally disconnected. See, the nature of the universal mind is peaceful. It isn't receptive to force or violence. It works in its own time and rhythm, allowing everything to remain, to emanate rather, by and by. And it's in no hurry because it's outside of time. It's always in the eternal now. Universal spirit is at work peacefully, and your attempt to rush it in any shape, form, or fashion will destroy the entire process. Being receptive means allowing your senior partner to handle your life for you. I accept the guidance and assistance of the same force that created me. and I trust the wisdom to move at its own peaceful pace. I make no demands on it. This is how you must think in order to reconnect to your source. You practice meditation because it allows you to receive the inner knowing of making conscious contact with God. And by being peaceful, quiet, and receptive, you pattern yourself in the image of God and you regain the power of your source. So be receptive, stay connected to the power that created everything you see and everything you don't see. Be receptive. We've been talking about over the past couple of weeks the power of your intention. And I've been telling people about this book written, not the power of intention, but the power of your subconscious mind. The power of intentions is by Dr. Dwayne 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 Dyer. But the power of your subconscious mind by Joseph Murphy, PhD, DD. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a real good book, and I urge you to go pick up one and check it out because it can change your life. And he really touches on some things, because your subconscious mind is the creator of your reality. How you think, what you say about yourself. I'm going to go over some things and we're just going to learn together. We're going to walk through this thing together. We're going to learn together. We're going to grow together, and we're going to become more powerful together. So if you're here, you might want to get you a notepad and pencil and take some notes. We're just going to walk through this thing together. We're talking about something that quietly shapes every experience that you ever had. And it's not your job. It's not your relationships. Not even your conscious thought. We're talking about your subconscious mind. Okay? That part of that runs beneath awareness. That part that doesn't speak in words. It's that part that learned who you were before you chose who you wanted to be. And whether you know it or realize it or not, your subconscious mind is creating your reality every single moment of the day. And it's not to punish you. It's not to reward you, but to simply stay consistent with what it believes is true about you. So what I'm talking about is it's not about blame. It's not about blame. It's about power. And the more importantly, it's about choice. Okay? So we talked about what the subconscious mind really is. Most people think they're living from their conscious mind, the thinking mind, the logical mind, the mind that says, I want better. But neuroscience tells us something different. 90 to 95% of your daily behavior is driven by the subconscious. That means most of your reactions, most of your habits, your emotional triggers, your attraction patterns, your self-sabotage, they're not conscious choices. They're programs. And your subconscious mind is like a recording system. It stores emotional experiences, especially from childhood, and uses them to predict the future. It asks only one question over and over again. This is what your subconscious mind asks over and over again. What feels familiar? Not what's healthy, not what's aligned, not what's expansive, what's familiar. And familiarity becomes your comfort zone. And when it becomes your comfort zone, even when it hurts. People They become comfortable, familiar with, so familiar with discomfort that they just stay there and they're paralyzed in this discomfort. Most of your subconscious programming, this is a program, right? Most of your subconscious programming was installed before even the age of 7, before logic, before discernment, before choice. You absorb beliefs from tone, from repetition, for what was said and for what wasn't said. And you learn how love is given, what safety feels like, whether your needs matter, whether rest is allowed, whether success is dangerous. And once a belief is formed in the subconscious mind does something powerful, very powerful. It filters reality to prove itself right. It filters reality to prove itself right. So if your subconscious believes, I have to struggle, I'm too much, people leave, nothing lasts, I don't get to relax, you'll unconsciously recreate situations that confirm those beliefs. Not because you want to, but because your subconscious wants consistency. Awareness is not the problem. Programming is. This is where people get frustrated. They say, well, I've been affirming and I've been visualizing and I've been manifesting, but nothing changes. Nothing changes. And here's why. Your conscious mind says, I am worthy. But your subconscious mind says, that's not safe. The subconscious mind wins every single time because it controls the nervous system. It controls the emotional memory. It controls the reaction speed. That's why repetition without emotional safety doesn't stick. The subconscious learns through emotion, repetitions, and experience. Let me say that again. The subconscious learns through emotion, strong emotion, repetition, and experience, not force. So healing is not about convincing your mind. It's about retraining your nervous system. And when safety is established, change becomes natural. And here's the part that can feel confronting, but also liberating. Your outer world is not random, it's reflective. Yes, your outer world is reflective of you, not as a punishment, but as information. And your relationship reflects your attachment patterns. Your relationship reflects your relationship reflects your attachment patterns. Your finances reflect your beliefs about receiving, and your energy levels reflect your relationship with rest and work. And here's the key. Your subconscious mind responds to what your subconscious mind responds to what you expect, not what you desire. So when you begin asking what belief is someone with this reality hold, you move from victimhood to authorship. Nothing changes until the belief changes. Nothing changes until the belief changes. So reprogramming doesn't start with action. It starts with curiosity. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Ask, what learned belief is running this? Instead of forcing positivity, practice compassion awareness. Here, again, are 3 fundamental shifts. Okay? Number 1, slow your reactions. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Take a pause for the cause, because every pause weakens an old program. Number 2, feel before you fix. The subconscious mind, it heals through emotional validation. Feel before you fix. Number 3, create new emotional evidence. Small, safe wins rewire beliefs faster than big leaps. See, you got to realize this isn't about overnight work. It's not about overnight work. It's devotional work. Let me see if I can get my. Hold on just a minute. Oh man. Take a moment. I gotta fix my light. Whoa. I don't think I'm gonna have it. That's all right. We're gonna go without it. Uh, and see, so it isn't overnight work. It isn't overnight work, but every layer that you heal returns your power. Every layer that you heal will return your power. And it's it's liberating to realize you're not broken. You're just responding to old information that can finally be updated, if you will. And here's what I want you to remember about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind isn't your enemy, it's your protector. It kept you alive, it kept you adapted, it did its job beautifully. But you are no longer the version of you that needed those defenses. And when you lead with patience instead of pressure, your mind follows. You heard that song, Free Your Mind, and the rest will follow? Your mind follows. You don't create reality by forcing it. You create it by becoming safe enough to receive it. And when safety becomes your baseline, reality has no choice but to respond differently. So allow yourself to stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment and be patient. Things will work itself out. They will work themselves out. Let me see. Uh, let's see. I want to talk about uh, manifestation a little bit, about manifestation in the subconscious mind, how reality responds to what you're being. And we're called human beings, you know, and, people always want, I always say this, what they're not willing to be, right? They want to be loved, but are you being loved? Are you being kind? Are you being expansive? Are you being true to yourself? You know, people always want to have what they're not willing to become, you know? So, it's important. How you doing, Jay? I see you. Thanks for coming in, dropping in. So let's talk about manifestation and the subconscious mind, how reality responds to what you're being, not what you want. This is one, you know, that you don't rush through. You can't rush through this. You got to let this sit inside. So wherever you are right now, let your shoulders soften, unclench your jaws, let your breath deepen, not intentionally, just naturally. Because at this moment, we're going to talk about manifestation, but not not the version you see online, not the version that tells you to think harder, to affirm louder, or pretend your pain doesn't exist. We're talking about the manifestation through the subconscious mind, that part of you that's always listening, always responding, always creating, whether you're aware of it or not. And the truth is, You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what feels safe to your subconscious. This conversation will change the way you relate to desire, to timing, to patience, and to yourself. And you got to realize that manifestation is not magic. It's alignment. It's the moment when your thoughts, your emotions, your nervous system, and your beliefs all agree on the same outcome at the same time. And most people struggle not because they're doing it wrong, but because they're trying to manifest from the conscious mind. The conscious mind wants quickly. The subconscious mind wants safety. The subconscious mind asks, will this disrupt my survival? Will this change who I am? Will this cost me connection? Will this overwhelm me? If the answer feels like yes, even if the desire is good, the manifestation stalls. Not as a punishment, but as protection. So, you can want abundance and still believe struggle makes you worthy. You can want love and still associate intimacy with loss. You can want peace and still feel unsafe without chaos. So the subconscious mind keeps recreating the familiar because familiarity, excuse me, equals safety. That's why people say, I keep manifesting the opposite. I'm doing the work, but nothing's changing. I feel blocked. You're not blocked, you're conditioned. And conditioning can be softened. There's a role that the nervous system plays. Manifestation is a nervous system event. If your body is braced, if your breath is shallow, if your system is always on alert, expansion will feel like danger. Okay? So, before reality changes, your capacity must expand. Let's pause here. Let's pause here and take a slow inhale through the nose. Let it reach the belly and release through the mouth. The body must learn that receiving is safe, rest is allowed, joy doesn't need to be earned. This is why embodiment matters more than visualization. Reprogramming through safety. Reprogramming the subconscious does not happen through pressure. Okay? It does not happen through pressure. It happens through permission. Permission to slow down. You know, sometimes we're just in too big of a hurry. We want everything to happen. Being in this microwave world, like, you know, right now, the internet is, everything is fast. Everything is, you know, microwave, you know, but we need permission. We need to learn how to slow down. Slow down. You know, we need to learn how to feel what you feel. Allow yourself to identify what it is that you're feeling. Name what you learn. Release what no longer fits the version of yourself of who you are now. And ask yourself gently, what did I learn in this belief? What did I learn this belief? When did I learn this belief? Who benefited from me believing this? Is this still true now? These are questions that you ask yourself. Now, you know, no force, just awareness. Every time you respond differently, even slightly, you weaken old patterns and repetition rewires. Here's what actually works. Visualization paired with relaxed breathing. Affirmations spoken only when they feel natural or neutral, rather, or soothing. Journaling that asks, why not? Just that journaling that asks why, not just what. I was journaling, and that's a very powerful way to just grow, man. Uh, Write things down that have happened in your life that day. You know, talk to yourself through your writing. Take 5, 10 minutes just to write, what your day was like or what you expect of that day. It's a very powerful way. Celebrating micro shifts instead of chasing outcomes. Manifesting becomes effortless when it's not desperate. You just know that things are going to be created in your life and things are just going to happen in your life. You have a certain inner knowing inside that things are just going to work themselves out. You're not worried about the next move. You just move through with the ebb and flow of life. Whatever comes at you, you accept what it is that comes to you, and you look at it as an event that you can learn from, that you can be strengthened from, that you can become more expansive, that will show you more about who you are at the very level of your being. That's what these events that show up in your life, that's what they're for. And the universe responds to trust, not urgency. What's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be received. What's meant for you, I'm going to say it again, doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be received. You need to allow yourself to receive it. A lot of times things are coming up in their life, and they show up in their life, and it's right there in front of them, and they can't believe it, so they don't receive it. All things are possible. All things are possible. All things are possible. You can, you have to allow your imagination to run away with it. Allow your imagination to just grasp onto the unbelievable. That's how it works. The things that you just wouldn't, they exceed your most vivid imagination. The things that will happen for you in your life that will just be extraordinary, that will just, unexpected things at unexpected times will happen just at the right time. So, what's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be received. Detachment and divine timing. Let's talk about that. Detachment isn't giving up. It's letting go of control. It's trusting what's aligning behind the scene. It's bigger than what you can see right now. Sometimes delays is integration. Sometimes pause is protection. Sometimes waiting is preparation. Now breathe that in. Breathe that in. Breathe that in. Take a deep breath. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Yeah. You're not behind. You're becoming. I call it divine delays. You're right where you are because you're supposed to be right where you are. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago about don't look at somebody else's life and their success and compare your life to their success. That's a no-no. What's there for you in your life will come. Just allow it to come. You're not behind. You're becoming. You're becoming. You're evolving. You're growing. You're constantly growing. You're constantly growing. And here's what I want you to leave with this. Your subconscious mind is always listening. Not to your words, but to your state. So choose softness. Choose patience. Choose compassion. We talked about mirror talk. And when you see things about yourself that you don't particularly like, use compassion. Look at yourself in a compassionate way. I see, what do you see in the mirror when you talk to yourself? I see somebody that has overcome a lot, that has accomplished a lot, given the circumstances that my life, the things that I've been through in my life, I'm still an overcomer. You say these things to yourself, with compassion, with love. Start treating yourself with compassion, with love. and start, eating habits, change your eating habits, get up a little early and go for a walk, little things like that that you build on. There's a song that they used to sing in church. Lord, don't move that mountain, but give me strength to climb it. Please don't move that stumbling block, but lead me, Lord, around it. But what happens is you get molehill after molehill after molehill after molehill that you climb, and pretty soon you'll have the strength to climb that mountain, because it's like you've been going over through these molehills, and the mountain will become nothing. You'll be able to just effortlessly manifest, effortlessly move through this thing that we call life. So reality recognizes effortlessly. So let that settle in. Let that unfold. Understand and know that you are powerful. Okay? You can manifest. What you have, the idea that you have in your mind, that vision, that dream, that accomplishment, that goal, it's already existing in the paradigm. You just have to become that vibrationally, become that. Become that. If it's a millionaire, become that millionaire. How do a millionaire think? You have to become, dress like it, walk like it, talk like it. It's not impossible. And with the internet, all things are possible, because they're making money a different kind of way now. They're making money different now. So you can accomplish a whole lot. What took 10 years to do now only takes a year, 6 months, with the right attention paid to it. That's a fact. That's a fact. So understand that all things are possible. Visualize, walk in it, stay calm, don't panic. And one thing you're going to have to do, you're going to find yourself spending time alone, because that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do, because you've been chosen. You've been chosen. You're going to find yourself spending time alone, maybe at a park or at the beach or in the woods, close to nature, where you can really receive the information that you need to receive to accomplish what you need to accomplish in life, the purpose that you're here to accomplish in this thing we call life. You'll spend time away from everybody. I find myself spending time by myself a lot now. A lot. Because I got a job to do. I got things to accomplish. There are things that I need to do while I'm here. I don't know how much longer I'll be here, but I don't worry about it. I just do what I got to do, and I keep my focus on what it is that I have to do. And part of it has to do exactly with what I'm doing right now. And when you find that niche, everybody has a niche. When you find that niche, you'll find yourself moving in a way. There's a joyful, joy bubbles up in your heart. You just know. It's an inner knowing that you know that you know that you know that you're supposed to be doing exactly what you're doing. And there's no better feeling than that in the world. And so, if it's something that you need to do, go for it. Don't allow yourself to be discouraged by anybody else's opinions or anything that happened in the past that it didn't work out. That was something that you learned from. You learned from what happened. If it didn't work out that way, it still worked out in your favor, because now you know that you don't go in that direction. That's not the direction that you need to go in. That's not the way you should go. But you learn something. But don't quit. Keep pushing forward. And you'll find out that little things will start coming your way. And a state when you go, keep the excitement. stay excited. Find something that you're excited about. And if you're excited about that one thing, right, go for it with everything that you have, and pursue it until it runs out. And when it runs out, find something else to be excited about and go for that. And just go for that, and move in that direction, and be in a constant state of gratitude for everything that happens in your life. Everything. That's the key. Is being Gratitude is the key for receiving more of the things that you desire in your life. In your life. In your life, man. In your life. I'm constantly being thankful for everything that's happening in my life right now. Little things, it may not seem like it, but I've learned that it does something for you. Things start coming to me, man. And I love to give. You know, Learn to give. It's not a shortage. That's a lie. Stop watching so much news. Stop looking at what everybody's panicking about, because that's a lie. We live in an abundant universe. I am one with the infinite mind of God, and the abundance of the universe flows freely to me. I release every thought of lack and limitation, and I affirm that I am whole, perfect, and complete. I am a unique expression of the infinite, and everything that we need, I need, you need for our success is within us. That's right. It's within me. It's within me. And you have to say it to the point where you believe it and you know that it's true. And when you start saying it and you believe it and you know that it's true, that's when your whole life changes. I guarantee you. I guarantee your whole life changes at that point. But you can't say it like it's a speech. You got to say it like you mean it. A strong emotion has to be behind it. And it doesn't have to be loud. It could just be within. Everything comes from within. Everything. Your peace comes from within. Your joy comes from within. Your happiness comes from within. Strength comes from within. Everything comes from within. You don't have to go get it outside. Happiness from within. You dig? It's from within. It's from within. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about what's about to happen in my life. I'm excited about what's about to happen in the people's lives that I'm being able to pour into, because it's a shift. It's going to be a shift it's a shift that's happening right now in the paradigm. And there's an old earth and a new earth. Those that are living in the 3D, those that are going to be in the 5D, fifth dimensional and higher. And it's separating. You'll be able to see what's happening, but they'll be in a whole other dimension. They won't be in the same world. It's a different world. We're going to talk about that in the upcoming weeks, about the 3D, the fifth dimension and the third dimension, a world that we live in now, that people are living in. But it's a split in the earth. It's a shift right now. You can tell. It's a lot of things that are happening. It's a lot of trials are dark. It's all kind of stuff that's happening. But it won't affect you, because you're not going to be a part of that world, because you're operating in love, out of love and compassion and peace and joy, without judgment. That's separating you. You don't have time for frivolous conversations because people, you urge and you yearn for conversation that's on a deeper level, not you know, just surface talk. And you're going to be separating from certain people that, you love. But it's going to be all right because there are going to be other people that's going to come into your life that are going to be exactly what you need them to be for you. And it's going to be relationships that you're going to have with those people that are going to be on a deeper level, on a level that will help you become more expansive. And you will be more, and they will become more expansive. Small talk is no longer something that you relate to. You don't want that. Jokes, all joking aside, it's okay to live and have fun and laugh, but you yearn for something more. You yearn for that deeper relationship with people, and you're going to find it. That's why you're separating yourself. That's why the separation is happening, because you no longer have a need for those shallow relationships that you've been accustomed to in the past, because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. We can't. I don't care what you say. We change. You're a different person that you were from yesterday. We're constantly evolving, constantly changing. You're not the same person you were 5, 10, 15 years ago. You're evolving, you're changing. And people, they're noticing the change. Well, you change. Well, you're not the same person you used to be, and that's the truth. And don't worry about the change. It's all a part of the process. Allow the process to take place. Allow the change to take place, because that's where you need to be. And you'll see that as you move through this process, there will be those that will meet you on the other side that will be the perfect fit for you in your life, because you're on the fifth dimension that operate out of love, compassion, unity, oneness. You understand who you are at the very core of your being. It's not about separation when it comes to religion, politics, or any of that. Color. You understand that, we all, have created what we see, in this consciousness that we have. And so it's coming, everything's coming to a head. It's coming to a head. And I'm excited about it, actually. I'm excited about the change that's taking place. And some people, like I said, you'll know them, but you'll never connect with them again. You'll see them, you may see them, and you might see what's happening in their life, but you won't be in contact with them again. You'll be separated from those people. And that's what's happening. We're going to get more into detail about that, but we'll probably come back next week and talk about that. But I'm going to wrap it up at this point, and I want to thank you for being with me tonight. And I hope that something has been said that will, help you become more expansive, and that you will be able to take this with you and move through life, in a manner that will make, that will show just how powerful you are as a human being. Just how powerful you are as a human being. I really mean that. And I'm going to do everything that I can to bring to you what you need, what we need to become what we need to be. Because we got a job to do. We got things, and it breaks through all religious barriers, political barriers, and all of that. It's past all of that. Let me see. Uh, Gina Butterfly, she's gonna say her thing, and then we're gonna get out of here. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. Uh, Here she comes. Hold on one second.
I want to thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Everybody have a safe and prosperous new year, and don't do anything that I wouldn't do. All right. Stay safe. I love you guys.